When I got out of the military 30 years ago, a lot of these services weren't available. Nobody really knew what PTSD was, or traumatic brain injury. I started Project New Hope in January of 2011 because I wanted to give back. My eldest daughter, Erica, was good friends with Tracy Valancourt's son, Brian Moquin.
Brian was my only child. He was very funny, artistic, very active. When he joined, he told me that the job that he chose was Cavalry Scout, and I remember pleading with him, why do you need to pick such a dangerous job like that? And he said, Mom, can you really see me sitting behind a desk, slinging paperwork? That's not me, you know me. I need to be where the action is. The last time I saw Brian was Christmas of 2005 when he came home on leave, and then he went back. And I was on a business trip in Chicago when I called home just to say hello, and I found out over the phone that my son was gone. All they could tell me was his helicopter had crashed and he had died, but they couldn't tell me anything else because they didn't have any other answers for me at that time. After my son's death, I wasn't sure what I was going to do or where I was going to go from there. But I know that I wanted to do something to give back.
I went down to see Tracy and I told her that I wanted to start Project New Hope to offer free weekend retreats.
As soon as he said hope and the title Project New Hope, I knew I wanted to be involved.
We offer free weekend retreats to combat veterans and their families to provide resources. And we have done retreats, free weekend retreats for traumatic brain injury veterans, for veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, veterans that have suffered military sexual trauma.
We also have a lot of fun things. It's not all about the pain and the suffering that they're going through. We also offer a lot of fun, holistic activities, boating.
Just seeing the smile on their face and seeing a husband and wife reconnecting and saying, there is hope. And seeing the children connect and saying, there's resources out there for us. It's, you can't ask for anything better than that. I mean, that's what makes us go on each and every day, and we want to do more and more.
I've lost more friends from suicide and death post-war than I did in the war, in 36 months in combat. Every 26 minutes, a veteran commits suicide. When you have people that you generally care about and people that you trust with your life and your well-being and are willing to sacrifice their life for yours, and they're hurt, maimed, or killed, it's devastating. What we find important to us is different and has changed because of what we've seen and just what we've been exposed to. With PTSD, and it was a slow process. It was almost like ice melting. One of the symptoms is that you don't think anybody cares. It's one of those disorders where you become it. It's everything about you. It affects every minute of your day. It's like carrying around a 150-pound cinder block on your back. I came back to civilian life, and like most people, life has bumps in the roads. Life just started to cause that big iceberg to rapidly melt. Became estranged from my wife. My kids were afraid of me, and she asked for a divorce. That turned a blowtorch to the iceberg. My plan was to go back to Afghanistan and to jump on a grenade or get killed because I didn't want my kids, I wanted to kill myself, but I didn't want my kids to think I was a coward. Still not knowing that it was quite PTSD, but Bill Moore had been watching me.
Over the course of me trying to connect with him to get him into services, we bonded and was able to get him to come to a retreat.
At Project New Hope retreats, each one is tailored specifically to the needs of the veteran or their family.
Because we can't just treat the veteran, we have to treat the spouse, and we have to treat the children.
The great thing about Project New Hope and how it benefited me was that it gave me a recipe. It takes time, but you got to be actively engaged. And you have to develop your own recipe that's going to work for you. You're now going to meet other people who are going through the same struggles, the same challenges in their life, and people in the background that can offer you a solution and help you solve the problem. I think that's it. That's the key. You know, rebuilding a community. If it wasn't for Project New Hope and Bill Moore, I wouldn't be here. And because people are generous, especially Tracy and all the supporters of there, I wouldn't be here. Whatever the voices are in your head, the self-talk, that's bad, it's a lie. It's not true. I still fight with it every day, but I've learned that it's not true and there's people that care. And if you're gone, I will miss you. Because when you end up being a line item in a newspaper and I have to ride my motorcycle to your funeral, I am crushed because I failed. And reach out, call, because we're here. We're waiting for you to come to us, but we don't know where you are.